Hey everyone, it's Grant Winsauer, and we're back with Michael today. Jack could make it because he is getting a getting introduced to a clinical class that he is doing for his masters or not masters, for becoming a PA. So he couldn't make it today, but I still got Michael. So today we're going to talk about the Bears. Uh, tie game that they did uh, against the Dolphins this past weekend. Sorry that this is coming a little late. It's just I wanted to have a couple of days to kind of uh, digest it and then have time to write the script. So, but we're going to talk about the Bears 24-24 tie game, and then we're going to go into some other stuff. But the most important thing that actually came out earlier today was Ben Johnson announced that starters will play on Sunday, and I think that it's so good that he decided to play them this Sunday because I was wondering why he didn't let them play this past weekend, and then I kind of had an idea for why he didn't because I don't necessarily think the Dolphins are the greatest defense for starters to go up against. And Ben Johnson wants uh, hard fought games. And the Bills' defense is a very good defense. So I do believe that that's the reason that Ben Johnson sat his starters last weekend. And I am very happy that we get to see them play against a uh, high caliber defense for once. And I really believe that this is going to be a fun game to watch. So, what was your thoughts when you saw that, Michael?
Uh, I thought it was, I first off, I don't mind the starters not playing in preseason. I know it's only like they normally only play one, maybe two drives, but during those drives you can still get injured. Doesn't matter. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to start getting injured. But against the Bills this week, I'm going to training camp.
Right,
Yeah, I'm going Friday.
you're going Friday. You're
Yep.
going Friday.
So I'll get a Josh Allen autograph for us. Don't worry. I'll try to convince him to come to the Bears.
I don't
Uh,
think you have to do that.
and no, but he'd be nice. And but I love Caleb. Stop. But I'm excited to see Caleb play. I
Yeah.
really I think he's gonna have a very big year. So I was happy that they're gonna play, but you always have to have that injury concern.
Oh, always. There's always. It's always going to be in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Oh. Um, but let's get into the Bears versus Dolphins tie recap. Um, so for me, this the game did start out slow with them having uh two drives that basically were three and outs. But the defense was firing on all cylinders, and that's really thanks to Dennis Allen. The defense had a total of 6 sacks, which if we had anyone else running our defense, I think we would have had half that. This really goes to show how much a home run hire Dennis Allen was for this team. Once once the offense got going, it was working really well. If the offense worked this well with the backups in, it will be really exciting to see how the offense flows with the number one offense. In all fairness, there was a play where Terrell Smith had a clear pick six, uh, but he dropped it. So, you know, if he didn't drop that, we could have won. But I am just, I am just happy that we scored more than 20 points because when we had our last coaching staff, I don't even want to say the coach's name because it feels like a curse. We didn't even score 20 points in any of our preseason games, I don't think, and it was hard to watch.
No, I think
Hard to watch.
the most we scored was 17, and that was a game where Fields threw that little screen pass to Khalil Herbert and ran it.
I
That was
think
like 2-3 years ago or something. We all thought
you're right.
Fields and Herbert were gonna go crazy, and then yeah, we know how that happened.
I think you're right. So I mean, you you were golfing,
Yeah.
Michael, but you got to see you watched the highlights of it, and what did you think of the highlights?
Um, I like the offense. I'm just so excited for this defense. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you can't really go off the offense with the backups in,
Right.
but the defense, it's just nuts. Dennis Allen, my favorite hire of our coaching staff. You know that. I
Yep.
was a big Saints guy, but that the defense just looks so much better. It feels like we actually have a good defense again. That was my biggest takeaway is just the defense. Even though they did give up 24 points, but it's a preseason game. It's okay.
It's a preseason game. You're gonna have your second and third string and practice squad players in the game
Yeah.
eventually. If we had our number one defense
Oh my God.
against even against the number one Dolphin offense, well, aside from Tyreek Hill, I don't think the Dolphins offense is that dangerous because of the fact that Tua is one hit away from retirement.
Yeah.
One. He honestly, I'm I don't think this is a hot take at all. I mean, he he should be done playing. I mean, the dude secured his contract for 5 years, 265 million or whatever amount of money it was, and he has had countless concussions, and they have all been really bad concussions.
Yeah.
And I mean, that dude is going to end up with CTE when he is older. I have no doubt in my mind. So,
Yeah. No, he's good when he's healthy.
but that's not a lot. He's never
No, he's maybe healthy like 4 games of the year.
exactly. So I mean, I- you know, I think that really, if Tua can't stay healthy this year, they're gonna say we need to move on from you, and we need to move on from Mike McDaniel because, I can't say.
Mike
No, I'm
McDaniel,
gonna
he's
say
a
that.
good coach. He's good.
But do you think they'll have a high enough draft pick for a quarterback?
No, because I don't think any of the like good quarterbacks like Arch or any of them. I don't think any of them are coming out. I think they're all going to stay another year in high school or in college.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So I mean, next topic we're gonna talk about. I mean, I can comment on this more than probably Michael did because I watched the full game and he watched the highlights. But I mean, in all fairness, the highlights are showing you the best parts of it, so you might
That's
be able
true.
to. But I mean, the intensity that comes from Ben Johnson and his coaching staff is just huge. I mean, they had two fourth down stops, I think,
Yeah.
at the 1 yard line or like inside the 5 yard line.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it just felt so good to see a coach like fired up when your defense stops a huge fourth down stop at the 1 yard line. And because I mean, again, if this was last year, both of those would have been a touchdown. I personally believe it. And I mean, I just love the aggressiveness of this coaching staff. Not only did Dennis Allen stop the defense from or stop the Dolphins offense from scoring twice in the red zone, but the Bears offense went for it on fourth down twice as well. And did get it once, I think, or was it both times?
I know they got the one.
Yeah, I think it was one. I think it was one, but I mean, I am just so happy that we actually have this coaching staff, because when you look at all the coaching staffs that were filled this past year, the two that are the best ones are the Bears and the Patriots.
Mhm.
And I mean, the Bears one is, I mean, us being a little bit biased, but also for the first time in a while, actually having the feeling that we are right, that it is one of the best coaching staffs. And with the Patriots, I mean, you bring back Mike Vrabel, who honestly, I don't understand why they hired Mayo when they did last year. I thought that he was never going to be a long lasting guy. But when you bring in Mike Vrabel and then he brings back the offensive mastermind in Josh McDaniel, Josh McDaniels is not a good head coach, but he is a great offensive coordinator. And that is something that people have talked about, where sometimes you're not a good head coach, but you are a great coordinator. And Josh McDaniels is the perfect person for uh, that statement. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, yeah, I do think we did get the best coaching staff. I like, again, we won the off season. Happened the
Mm,
last couple of years. We haven't done anything with it, so it's hard to like go with that topic. But the Patriots did do a good job there. I mean, Mike Vrabel was a very good coach, and he was very good in Tennessee, I thought. And I think with the fourth down stuff, I think we're going to see that a decent amount because the Lions did that. So,
yeah, I do believe that too. Before we get into our next topic, I just want to remind everyone listening and watching to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue to grow and bring you guys more content. But our next topic is going to be standouts from the Bears and Dolphins game. I have uh, three on offense and three on defense. And Michael has a few that he'll talk about. So my three are Kyle Manungai, Ozzy Trapillo, and uh, I don't know if I don't know how to exactly pronounce this, but it's Jade Walker.
yeah,
Or at least that's how it looks
Jade.
like you pronounce it. But starting with Kyle Manungai, he had 6 carries for 30 yards on like 19 or 20 snaps, something like that. But I mean, he his burst of speed and shiftiness was huge. I mean, and he had one carry where it was a 13-yard carry, and he was he was trying, like, the Dolphins defense was trying to tackle him, like, right when he got past the line of scrimmage, and he slipped out of it, and he just made something out of nothing, and it was a great game. And then with Ozzy, he had 30 or so snaps, and he didn't allow any sacks, but he did allow one pressure, but that's still pretty good in my opinion. And then with Jade Walker, he had 15-yard touchdown, but he also had two other receptions, so he had three receptions for 41 yards and a touchdown. But I actually want to talk about someone else that was in the wide receiver room that I thought had a good game, but he could have had a great game if Tyson Bagent got the ball down a little bit and saw him in the end zone. So Luther Burden had
Mhm.
was play he got 2 receptions for 29 yards, and half of it was a huge first down that we really needed on 3rd and 15. But he had 2 passes that were thrown his way. One was really high, and then the other one, Tyson Bagent didn't see him in the back of the end zone and threw the check down. I mean, if he had both of those catches, he would have had like 50 plus yards and a touchdown. So I'm a little disappointed in that. But coaches are saying that he's growing, so I'm excited for him.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Luther Burden, but kind of already said everything. But he just looks so good.
Yeah, and then I'm going to talk about some guys that I enjoyed on defense really quick, but I'm going to let Michael go into his standouts next before I do.
Okay, yeah. So Luther Burden, obviously, I think he just looks so good. Yeah, like you said, he could have had such a better game, but you know, we'll take our positives. Loveland looks. He only had the he
One
only had
catch.
2 targets, but he had the 1 catch for 8 yards. I still think he looks good. I think that was a very, very good pick. And then uh, Bajent. I always like Bajent. Bajent always just looks good to me. For some reason, I don't know. Yeah, he did miss the Luther. He threw the interception, but I like Bajent a lot. I think that's a good backup quarterback to have. And Case Keenum. Case Keenum had 2 touchdowns, and was 8 for 10. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think that anyone had a bad game per se.
mm-mm.
It could have been better. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
And then for defense, the biggest standout was Austin Booker. I mean, he had 3 sacks, and this just goes to show how a change in defensive coordinator can literally change a player. Because last year, Austin Booker had a total of 1.5 sacks. He had twice that in one preseason game. So, I mean, I am excited to see him as probably the backup to Dio Dingbo or Montez Sweat. And there's a possibility if Dingbo doesn't pan out that he gets meaningful reps.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually excited to watch that if that happens. Um, and then I also highlighted Zach Pickens and Dominique Robinson. They both had a sack. So we had a total of 6 sacks. Someone else got another sack, but I
Alex Cook got a sack.
is that a safety? That seems like a safety. I'm not. I'm not trying to discriminate. That just sounds like a
Yeah,
safety
yeah,
name.
that's a safety.
So I mean, who were your standouts on defense? If you
My
have,
my standout was uh, Booker. He's he could start. Like a Dingbo doesn't do good or whatever his name is. Booker, I'd be happy putting him in there. And then honestly, just the whole defense in general, just because of the 4th down stops they had.
yeah, that was huge. That was huge.
So that was basically my take. And then obviously Dennis Allen. Love
Yeah,
Dennis Allen.
I mean, great stuff. Great stuff. I can't wait for the season.
Mm-hmm.
So practice. So today we had a practice. I think it was a kind of an up and down day for the team. You know, but Roma Dunze and Caleb Williams are building their like 1-2 punch connection. So I am very excited to see that. I hope that they have a bunch of red zone touchdowns. I would imagine that you would go to him with him being 6'3". So I'm very excited to see that. Um, and then it's weird though. They're looking at everybody now in the left tackle uh, competition with Braxton, Ozzy, uh, Chiron, and Theo Benedict. I don't I don't know if they're seriously looking at all four of them. It's just I saw that they all got meaningful reps with the ones today. I don't know if that's a good idea. Because Theo Benedict is a undrafted free agent, and Chiron just seems too raw at this point. But whoever they choose, I trust, because I trust this coaching staff more than any other coaching staff we've had in the past 10 years. So
I I think with that, I think most of it is more trying to see who can be on a roster, trying to get their roster down. I think that's all it
I
is.
hope you're right. I hope you're right.
But yeah, I think it's going to be between Ozzy and Braxton. But I think it's just more trying to find if they need that roster spot or something. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's all it is.
Yeah, and I mean, so when I was preparing for today, after I was done with that, I did just for fun do a fantasy football draft. I thought it would be fun to show you guys and let me know in the comment section your thoughts. And I showed Michael before this, but I want him to, kind of give me a rundown of how you think my team will be this upcoming season. Let me share my screen here. So so this is my starting lineup. Um, I had the number 3 pick in my draft, and I took Bijan Robinson.
Great pick.
Um, with my second pick, I took uh, Brian Thomas Jr.
It's also a very, very good pick. I like Brian Thomas.
And then I think I took uh, Garrett Wilson after that. The thing I can't even remember what pick I took each player at, and I don't want to go into the thing to see which pick I picked them at. But like, is there anything that you would change out of curiosity?
Um, no, because well, if I'm thinking, you picked Bijan, then you probably went, or then you went Brian Thomas, then you either went Garrett Wilson or James Cook.
I think I went Garrett Wilson. That's
Okay, then you went Garrett Wilson, then James Cook. So those are all right at where they're getting drafted, right around that spot, which those are great picks. Then obviously Kittle is always a good pick. You always want a tight end. And I think on your bench you also have Njoku.
yeah, I did. I do. And I'll show my bench in a second.
Yeah. Purdy,
I
right?
always try to get a hookup with one of my pass catchers with their quarterback, just so I can get uh, you know, twice the points for touchdowns.
Yeah. That's not bad. I don't know how high I am on Purdy. I'm not low on Purdy, don't get me wrong. I still think he's very good. I think Purdy's a good pick. Uh, I really wouldn't do anything because I'm trying to think like who would be there, and I think you drafted right.
Yeah. So ESPN gave me a B, and so I texted my cousin, who is like the fantasy football guru that I know, and he said I would give you an A because he really likes uh, every pick I made. But ESPN always says, "Oh, you took this player too early," or something and all that stuff. So you
Yeah,
know,
the ESPN grades are weird. I don't like them personally, but
and then with my bench, you know, this for my bench, I mean, I wanted to make sure that I got some Bears players because I am we're huge Bears fans, and I got Roma Dunze and Caleb Williams. I tried to get DJ Moore, but he was taking a pick before me, and I think I took um, George Kittle after that, something like that. Um, but I figured I could get Rome, a little later, and I might throw him in my starting lineup over Henderson just because he's a rookie, but Henderson is probably going to be the workhorse, so I might leave Henderson in. Um, and I might wait to put in any Bears because I want to see how the offense flows for the first couple weeks. Like if it flows really well in week one, I might move Rome into probably my flex spot. My cousin would not like that because he is a huge uh, Patriots fan, but it's my fantasy team, so it's my decision. Um, But like, what are your thoughts on my bench? Also,
I like the bench. Your bench is kind of nuts. I would honestly start Rome at flex over Hendrickson just because rookie first week. But that's like the only thing I would like. Obviously, it's a toss up. It doesn't matter. But
yeah, it's just my concern is Rome seems like the deep ball guy, so I'm curious on how many deep balls Johnson will throw. But we'll see. But that's I think that's going to be it for today. Hopefully, maybe we'll have a podcast on Saturday to talk about the joint practice and to preview the um, the Bills versus Bears game. And hopefully I can get Jack in on that one too. So we can all be together. But yeah, I think that's going to be today. Unless you have anything else to say, Michael.
that's it. That is it.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll hopefully see you on Saturday.
All right. Later, guys.
All right.